Wishing you much peace, stability, and tranquility. Today, we're going to talk about the relationship between love and depression. We know that love has a very powerful force. When we're in love, we seem to want to forget everything else in life. We see love as the most beautiful thing, the person we love as the most important. We soar in the sky of love, and life seems poetic and worth living. But you know what? From the perspective of nurturing your soul, that's when you start abandoning your own life. You're drawn to the object of your affection, day and night longing for them. You try every way to please them, to get them to please you in return. You spend a lot of time and energy cultivating what you call love. But in reality, you're always keeping your mind outside, residing in their heart, wondering what they think, what they want, how much they love you, and so on. And then every day you drift further away from yourself, unaware of what's happening inside you, even hunger. They don't care about sleep. They don't care about their basic needs. They don't care about their relationships with family members. And many even let love significantly impact their work. That's when they're in love, when they're experiencing a huge surge of emotion. But do they know that if they stop loving at that point, if they can't continue loving for some reason and one of them has to separate, or for example, if the other person no longer loves them or betrays them, how do they think they'll feel? Will they be able to be normal? Will they be able to stabilize immediately? Will they be able to act as if nothing happened? Or will they suffer? Some even contemplate suicide because during the course of a relationship, something terrible happens inside them that they never know about. They develop an emotional addiction. Scientists say that our brains produce ethanol and serotonin, which are hormones. It helps us to calm down, relax, find peace, and create pleasant feelings, which are the building blocks for happiness. But when we have an external object to rely on, to find attraction, sweetness, and comfort from that object, and repeat this hundreds or thousands of times, the brain is forced to remember a new command. From now on, it will stop producing ethanol and serotonin. It will rely on external attractions, and these attractions are not limited to alcohol, cigarettes, or stimulants, but also include love. And in love, there is also sex. That's why for a very long time, I lived for what I called others. I abandoned myself for a very long time. I didn't create my own peace, comfort, relaxation, and tranquility, and I relied entirely on that other person. I didn't live in my own home. I lived in someone else's house. That's what I call love. That's what I call my wonderful values of happiness. There was a blind boy who went to a friend's house to play. He was so engrossed in conversation that he didn't realize it was getting dark. His friend reminded him, "Go home, it's getting dark." The friend then gave the blind boy a lamp. The blind boy laughed and said, "Oh my goodness, you're making me laugh. Me? I'm blind. Why are you giving me a lamp?" His friend calmly explained, "Just take it. When the lamp is on, people will see you and avoid you." The boy was so happy and relieved. He thanked his friend and took the lamp to go back to town. On the way home, he thought, surely everyone will avoid me today, so he didn't use his usual navigation skills. He raised the lamp and rushed forward. A moment later, someone crashed into him. He got so angry he yelled, "Oh my God, are you blind? Can't you see my lamp?" The other person then burst out laughing. "Where's the lamp? Your lamp's been off for a long time, you blind man." Are we like that blind boy? We can navigate life even if we're not very intelligent. There's plenty of light, but we can still rely on our amazing survival instincts. Unfortunately, when we have something to rely on, a means of support, we immediately rush straight to that object. If we relied just a little, it wouldn't be a problem. But we rely too much, 100% on that object, and then we lose ourselves and become dependent in love. From then on, what happens to that object will happen in our lives. As long as the lamp is there, we continue to move forward. When the lamp goes out, we fall, we get hurt and suffer. You know, because we think that when we love someone, it will bring us a very because I feel happy and comfortable, I always try to please that person because I can overlook all their flaws, weaknesses, clumsiness, and mistakes. But strangely, our love is very unpredictable. Sometimes it's extremely strong, but other times it's very weak. So when we no longer crave, rely on, or depend on the other person, when we no longer find any attraction in them, what remains of that emotional connection? If love is gone, at least meaning remains, right? What is meaning? It's what we've sacrificed for each other, the affection we've given each other, the joys and sorrows we've shared together, the hardships we faced together, the close friendships we've become, the kindred spirits we've become. If love is gone and meaning is also gone, then that relationship becomes very burdensome. When a relationship lacks both love and meaning, one person might bother the other. Think about it yourselves when you live with someone. If you have to clash with someone, if you have to take responsibility for someone from whom you can't accept any sweetness, gentleness, or attractiveness, can you really live with that person long term? Not to mention that the other person has many problems that only surface when the initial feelings subside and the meaning hasn't fully formed. Wounds from the past will come to the surface, bad habits and flaws will emerge, negative energies deep within their soul will surface, and their huge ego will also surface. And you're no better, you're exactly the same as them. You also have wounds, negative energies, and a huge ego. Two troubled souls, two wounded souls, two weak souls walking together on this path, I think what will happen will inevitably hurt each other. People have hurt each other so many times in love, and why? Because both sides have instilled in each other a bad habit. That is, lean on me, I'll give you everything, or you should lean on me, I'm your solid support. Both sides were partly deceitful to each other or openly deceitful from the beginning, leading to a failure to keep promises, a loss of composure, and the loss of the beauty and brilliance they initially displayed. This is not to mention the pressures of life, the struggle for survival, the difficulties surrounding family and children, and countless other challenges. How can one possibly muster the immense energy to overcome all these obstacles? When the love between two people is no longer as passionate as it was at the beginning, the longer they live together, the greater the wounds inflicted. Love is where so much is buried, and where so many ambitions, ideals, and the beautiful values of a young person end. Whose fault is it? Is it love's fault or ours, those who only know how to love initially without learning and practicing? Because in this world, there are people who love each other, but they always make each other joyful and happy. Two souls come together to support each other's lives, guiding each other along beautiful paths. As the ancients said, though two, they are one, though one, they are two. Though two, they are one means two people but one soul, in harmony with each other, cherishing each other's good values, looking in the same direction, and walking together on the path of happiness. Therefore, each side will set aside its own selfishness and petty demands. Let's work together to build a common path where we will naturally share equally. But let's not forget that even though we try to merge two lives into one, each side still has its own needs. Each side must consciously take care of its own soul, because no one can take care of another's soul forever, and no one can make another person happy and joyful forever. Not to mention that each side has problems, wounds, suffering, and pain that only the owners of those wounds and suffering can heal. Instead of clinging to each other, depending on each other, and losing our lives, there are times when we need to separate. When we separate, we will return to tending our own gardens, weeding out the long grass, planting fragrant flowers and sweet fruits ourselves. Then, when we merge again, we will have beautiful values to offer each other. Of course, in a romantic relationship, there must be mutual support, but you don't need to constantly be preoccupied with me or scrutinizing me. Just live your life, focus on your work, build your family and friendships, pursue your ambitions and ideals, and in doing so, create a lot of positive energy and good values, so that when you meet me, you won't have any precious gifts to give me. A romantic relationship built on these principles means each person must take primary responsibility for their own life. Only when absolutely necessary, when you can no longer bear it, should you seek help from the other person. When you face difficulties, suffering, or pain, you should heal your own wounds first, while the other person's help should be secondary. Especially when we are psychologically hurt or depressed, we are very likely to unleash toxic energy that hurts the other person. Even if we love the other person very much and they love us very much, we should ask for some time apart, perhaps a few hours a day, a few evenings a week, or a few days to retreat to our own space, like a tiger licking its wounds, to rebuild our confidence that we can still stand on our own 2 feet. Do you see how, relying on our own strength, we can make our brains produce ethanol and serotonin, calming substances? When self-confidence is restored, we can be with the other person, and they will also find peace of mind and less burden and fatigue in a relationship where one person is absolutely dependent on the other. That's terrifying. Love without health, strength, resilience cannot go far on the stormy road of life. Therefore, relying on ourselves to renew ourselves, to always be a beautiful flower ready to offer to the one we love, is also a way to show our love. In the face of true love, don't rely too much on others. Believe in yourself. We possess many precious treasures within. Believe that.